Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch. Some lands won't let go of their secrets. Blind Frog Ranch was one of them. Nestled in the remote Uinta Basin of Utah, the ranch sprawled across acres of stubborn earth, tangled scrub, and hidden ravines. The land pulsed with a strange energy, an unseen rhythm that seemed to sync with the heartbeat of anyone who stayed too long. Locals spoke in whispers about the place. Strange lights in the sky. Disappearing cattle. Machines that failed without reason. Gold, they said. Maybe treasure. Or maybe something the earth buried long before men had words for it. The latest owner, a determined man named Cole Granger, came with heavy equipment, skeptical eyes, and a team of geologists and engineers. Unlike the treasure hunters before him, Cole didn't believe in ghost stories. He believed in data, and the data pointed to something unusual. Underground voids, magnetic anomalies, chemical markers that hinted at something valuable beneath the crust. The land greeted him with silence. 3 weeks into the dig, they uncovered the first chamber. An underground cavity, 30 feet below the surface, sealed in by layers of hardened rock and clay. The team celebrated, expecting an old mine or natural cavern, but what they found was neither. The walls of the chamber were smooth, not carved, but melted, as though something had passed through the rock with immense heat. In the center sat a perfectly round stone, black and glassy, like obsidian, but colder than the surrounding air. No tools worked on it. No instruments penetrated it. The geologist, Averill, said it felt wrong, like it was watching. They left the stone where it lay and resumed the excavation. 2 days later, one of the workers, Mateo Cruz, vanished. His boots were found in the chamber, neatly placed at the base of the black stone. No signs of struggle, no prints leading away, no blood, just an odd scent in the air, ozone and something like scorched cedar. The team grew quiet after that. Doubt crept in. One by one, the bravado eroded. They worked during the day, in groups, never alone. The dig continued. Cole insisted. More voids appeared in the scans. More chambers, deeper. Each bore the same signs. Melted rock, smooth tunnels, pockets of intense magnetism. And always more of the glassy stones. By the time they reached the 4th chamber, 2 more workers had gone. One was caught on camera moments before her disappearance. She stood before the stone, motionless, then static. When the camera resumed, she was gone. The image glitch seemed to echo beyond the screen. Magnetic interference, perhaps, or something worse. The team brought in outside experts, an archaeologist, a physicist, a psychic. None stayed long. The psychic left after 2 hours, mumbling about ancient intelligences and the boundaries between worlds thinning. The physicist said the chambers defied natural laws, that the melted rock could not be explained without energy yields far beyond nuclear. The archaeologist refused to give a statement. She simply stared at her hands and asked if they ever felt time stretch. Meanwhile, something shifted above ground. Animals fled the area. Birds stopped flying overhead. Equipment failed regularly. Batteries drained overnight. One morning, the drill site was covered in a thin, glittering frost, though the air was warm. It vanished within minutes, but left behind a smell like iron and lilies. The air grew thick, charged, as if a thunderstorm were perpetually on the edge of arriving. Cole, unshaken, doubled the dig crew. They broke into the 5th chamber 3 weeks later. This one was different. Unlike the others, it had walls covered in faint, iridescent patterns, shapes that changed depending on the angle of light. Glyphs, perhaps, or fractures in perception. The chamber stone was not black, but milky, luminous, as if lit from within. The workers refused to enter. Eva went in alone. Her voice came through the radio in gasps. She described a sound like singing, but it wasn't sound. It was inside her mind. Patterns on the wall that moved. A presence that pressed in without touching. Then silence. They retrieved her an hour later. She was alive, eyes wide and fixed. Her pulse was slow. She never spoke again. Her hands moved constantly afterward, sketching the same spiral over and over. Cole halted the dig. For the first time, he hesitated. That night, the wind carried whispers across the canyon. Not the rustling of leaves or the distant call of coyotes, but language, low and rhythmic. Men turned on lights. Dogs barked and refused to come near the chamber entrances. Something stirred beneath the ground. The sensors went haywire. Then the rains came. Unseasonal, torrential, the kind that reshapes land. The earth swallowed part of the site. Mud filled one of the shafts. The second chamber collapsed, taking 3 crewmen with it. No bodies were recovered. It was said the ground didn't just fall in. Cole retreated to the ranch house and didn't leave for days. In his absence, one of the remaining workers, Silas Cade, decided to go back into the 5th chamber. He was certain something was buried below it, something the land was trying to protect. Gold, maybe. Or power. He believed the symbols on the walls could be decoded, that they were instructions, warnings, or keys. He was never found. Only his recorder was recovered, its last minute looping a static-ridden sequence. But faintly, underneath, a low hum could be heard. A vibration. Not mechanical, but organic, like a pulse, or breath. Cole tried to fill in the site. Bring in earth movers. Seal the chambers. The machinery broke down. Every engine failed. Every attempt to bury the past ended in ruin. The land would not let go. Then came the night when the stars vanished. The sky turned the color of soot. No moon, no constellations, only darkness, oppressive and thick. For 1 hour, the world stood still. Animals hid. Winds died. Even the insects fell silent. Those who stayed near the ranch later described a moment of shared consciousness, a flash of images not their own. Symbols. Faces not of this world. Places that existed outside of time. A song without sound. And then the stars returned. After that, the ranch emptied. The crew left, silent and pale. No pay was worth what lingered in that ground. Cole remained, but he no longer spoke to anyone. He wandered the ranch, always watching the horizon, as if expecting something to emerge from beneath. Blind Frog Ranch was left alone once again. Some say the chambers are still there, humming quietly under the surface. That the black stones are not stones at all, but eggs, or eyes. That the land is not hiding gold, but memory, older than history, deeper than myth. A record of something that once was, or might still be. A sentinel, a prison, a beacon. The earth remembers. It knows what it has held, and what it must never release. Now, no birds fly overhead. No creatures linger. Even the wind has learned to whisper around Blind Frog Ranch. Nestled at the edge of the Uinta Mountains, this stretch of rugged Utah terrain breathed mystery. The air held a stillness there, as though time paused just long enough to listen. People came and went, always chasing the legend. Gold buried deep, left behind by conquistadors or perhaps something older, harder to name. For generations, men had clawed at the soil, driven by greed or curiosity, each convinced they'd be the one to unlock it. Few stayed long. Those who did either left changed or didn't leave at all. In late autumn, a new team arrived. They were quiet, methodical. Not dreamers, not thrill seekers, professionals. engineers, surveyors, geophysicists. The leader, Mason Callow, had a reputation for chasing anomalies around the globe. Seismic voids, unexplained magnetism, cryptic ruins swallowed by the earth. This was his language. He didn't chase treasure. He chased patterns. The ranch greeted them with a hush, the type of silence that seemed layered, as though even sound was wary of intruding. The first week passed in routine. Scans of the land confirmed what past surveys had only hinted at. Long, narrow shafts beneath the surface, too straight and deep to be natural. Layers of igneous rock appeared melted in places, not fractured. Mineral composition shifted unnaturally along tight seams. Instruments failed occasionally, batteries drained without warning, and delicate equipment sometimes recorded movement underground. Pulses, almost like breathing. The team drilled carefully into the first cavity. It wasn't a mine shaft. It was a chamber, nearly spherical, lined with a smooth, dark material, neither stone nor metal. Thin grooves traced the walls in concentric circles. When light hit them just right, they shimmered faintly, as though coated in microscopic prisms. Mason noted the readings. Elevated magnetic flux, abnormal radiation signatures, and persistent electrical static. No dust. No signs of life or decay. Only that persistent hum, low and distant, just below the edge of hearing. The sensation of pressure followed anyone who descended, a gentle push against the chest, as if the air itself grew heavier the closer one got to the center.